Hello and welcome to a Living Letter podcast with your host Nsovo Comfort. I'm not alone. I'm joined by Nsovo Happiness. Nsovo Happiness, she's my friend. I'm very excited and happy to be joined by her today. Welcome, Nsovo, to a Living Letter podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Is it your first time?
It is.
Wow. So it's your first time. You've never been on a Living Letter podcast?
No, I've never.
Welcome. Best podcast to be. Anyway, so how have you been? How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Really?
I don't want to lie.
Listen, you're top notch.
Top notch.
You are there.
Cloud 9. That's where I'm at.
Okay, good question. What are you currently learning?
A lot.
Yeah.
What have I learned recently?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but there's so many things that I've been learning.
Mm-hmm.
I've been reading. I've been watching a lot of personal growth podcasts. I just can't put it in words, but there's so much I'm learning, and I feel like you can only see it that I'm learning something. I cannot say it. I can only live it out, whatever it is that I'm learning.
Okay. So right now, you're more focused on personal development.
Personal development.
That's what you're learning.
That's what I'm learning. Okay. Finances. I don't know if it's career.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just
along those lines,
learning to make me a better person.
What has recently made you smile? When was the last time something made you what made you happy? What was it?
Who was it?
Didn't I give you something?
What did you give
that was
me?
Smile worthy?
Today?
No. Recently.
You gave me something.
Yes. Guys. Guys.
Yeah. She gave me a jacket. And that made me smile, I guess. So.
Was that so hard? Okay, so I'm going to be asking you a couple of questions, and then you will be responding however way, and then the conversation will go like that.
Right.
Okay, so first question: how has your walk with God? How has your walk and experience of God as Father been like, and how has it evolved from when you were young until now?
Can I give a little story? Backstory.
Yes, please. We love backstories.
To explain my relationship with God and how it started out and everything. That's what. So, I grew up in a Christian home. I've been going to church since I was born. And yeah, I've always known that there's God. We have to go to church. I'm not sure if I knew how to pray then, but I know that I used to get distinctions at Sunday school. We used to write tests and whatnot, so I knew how to read the Bible, but I won't say that I was leaving it. I just read it because we were required to read it at Sunday school for the test. But the first time I had it's not the first time I had an encounter with God. It's when I was introduced to God as my Father, and that's when I started to read the Bible, to live it, not to just read it, but to understand it and to live it.
Yeah.
It was back in high school, right after my father's death. My mom found me crying, and she found out that I've been crying myself to sleep every night.
How old were you when your father died?
I was in grade 9. How old were you?
Oh, grade 9. Okay, probably 14, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was in 2009, grade 9. Yeah. So my mom found me crying, and she told me about God.
Okay.
She took, because my dad wasn't really present. So she introduced God to me as my father. And she told me not to cry over like a man who wasn't even there as a father and stuff like that. There's a man, like an even better man who's there for me. And I was sold. I was sold from that day.
Like, I guess I have a new dad.
I have a dad? What do you mean? What do you mean I have a dad? So I was sold and I wanted to know more about him, and I got myself my first Bible. We went to a school trip at Durban, and then I bought myself my first Bible.
With your own money?
With my own money. Like, the only thing I wanted to get at Tripin was the Bible. I don't remember if I ever bought anything else except food. But then the Bible I had to get, and a journal. And then I started reading. That's when I started to learn the word. And I even started to make vows, purity vows. I vowed to God that I just wanted like better for myself. I vowed to God that I will not, purity most words. I even had like a certificate,
Yes.
So, and I was like on fire for God until after high school. And after high school, I went to varsity and I dropped out twice. I started a few businesses. They did not work out. I think like most of my friends, like you guys, like were in varsity and I wasn't. Like it seemed like everyone has like their life figured out and I didn't. And that started to make me feel, I don't know, like I started to feel like God. I don't know, I just felt like every time I try to do something, it does not work out. Like, is God really for me? So I got into a business that limited my time with God. I stopped reading, I stopped praying, and I had a fallout. And then I came back.
For more details about the fallout, it's on her channel, Nsovo Happiness. I'll link it on my description box. Okay.
So I had a fallout for like a few years, maybe 3 years. And then last year, God came back for his own.
It touches his own.
He came to fetch me because I was losing it, okay? And then he came to fetch me, and then I feel like the relationship I had like with him before the fallout is not the same like as the one I have now. And I would say the one I have now, it's much better than the one I had.
I always say something that I don't know whom I heard it from for the first time, but I like saying that our days with God are ahead of us and not behind. The best days with God are ahead of us and not behind.
That's true. So I'm saying the relationship I had then was better. Like I have now, it's better than the previous one, because previously I saw God as like a provider, like I was expecting him to like perform something for me. If I am loyal to you, if I serve you and whatnot, expect you to do this and this and this. I expect to have like a good life, soft life, life as the world sees it, the perfect life, soft life. And when things did not happen like the way I wanted them to, like I just thought, maybe God, you know what?
Don't love me.
Now, like I see him differently. Like it's like I don't even care whether he performs for me or he doesn't. Like I just want, you know what? I just want you. Like he's already done enough for me. Like at the cross, like giving away his only begotten son. Like what more can he do to prove that he loves me, he cares about me? And that's all that should matter to me. And that's all that matters to me right now. Whether I have a car, I end up having a car, a house, or it does not matter. As long as I am living in his will. And
Okay.
So
that's how It has evolved. Do
That's
you
how it
think
evolved.
do you think having a relationship with God helped you in some way to not did it fill the void of not having a present physical father, or like how did that affect the fact that you didn't grow up with your father?
It did.
Mm.
It did fill the void.
Oh.
Cause like the moment I started to know that I have God as my father,
Yeah.
I stopped crying like over my dad like, every night. I stopped crying. I don't know, like it did.
I think so, because now I'm actually realizing now that it's amazing how, like, I've known you since we're in high school, right?
High school.
But it has never been like a tagline of yours that I don't have a father. Or it has, like, it's even like
it's not even a thing.
It's not a thing in your life that like I don't have a father. Like it's not a thing in your life. And I think how you accepted God, it literally, like, it was just that, okay, my dad was not really present and he passed away, and that's it. And now I have an opportunity to experience a father in a different way, which is God. And I think that's the beauty of God, that he makes it so much so that even the things that we are physically lacking, somehow he can come and he amplifies that need of us having a father, or having a child, or having a. It's not that, like, yes, you will feel at some point that, I wish, it could be like this. Like the days, right? Yeah, but it's like the whole. It was supposed, if it was a whole day, if it was supposed to be like very deep, God somehow feels it so much with himself that it ends up being. Oh, it's a whole. It's there,
but it's not that.
Yeah, deep. It's not that deep. I guess. Sure. Wow, that's the mercy of God. So, okay. Second question. When was the day or time you felt truly loved by God, and what happened?
Every day. What do you mean? No, that days, man. Every day. What happened? I woke up in good health, breathing, alive. Still can walk, can see.
I hear you, but there are days, there are specific days that mark your life.
Okay, there's just this one thing. This one thing that made me see how much God loves us, the nature of God and God's love for us. Like I said, I had like a purity certificate. I made a vow to God, a promise to God that I'll never engage in any sexual whatever before marriage. I made that vow to him, and then I turned on him. I turned on him and went and had like an agreement with another man other than him. Right. So like I ditched him, right? Yeah. If God was like a bitter God, he was like an unforgiving God. Okay, I haven't gotten to the point. So I ditched him, had an agreement with another guy to have a child, and then we had a child, right? Having a child, it's a blessing. Yeah. It's a underrated blessing, I don't wanna lie. Because that thing, it's, I don't know, like being pregnant and having a child, I feel like it's a supernatural thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right. So if God was someone else, if God like was someone who wanted revenge, if he got bitter for not keeping a promise, betraying him, right? Like he would have messed it up. like there wouldn't have been a child. Like I don't know, maybe I would have had a miscarriage or something. Like I had like a very easy pregnancy. I had a very easy, like
it was smoothing nicely.
It was so smooth. Like even like
you don't know morning sickness.
No morning sickness.
Labor pains.
No labor pains. Like what? God,
That's
I don't
really
even deserve it. Like I mean, I think that should be for people who had kids like in wedlock, who kept their promise, like who did things right. Like why me? Like after everything that I've done, like you still doing this, you still
you
trust
felt
me.
Like grace for you to having it easy in that area, like, even though it was a sin.
It was a sin, but why are you still like
being kind to
me? Like I don't get it. Like my child is in good health, smart boy. I just felt like I don't deserve it. Like God, you don't have to do this. I betrayed you.
Sure.
But he's still like so because of that one thing.
Not that he's being bitter with people that are experiencing labor pain. That we don't know. This is your testimony.
But this is my testimony. That made me feel like loved. That made me feel forgiven. That makes me feel like, you know what, despite everything that I did, like betraying God, the fallout and everything, God still cares about me. God still wants the best for me. And God, I have no doubt that God loves me.
With meaning, Obana, yours, I like say, like yours is a story of like going out there, right, and like lost ship and coming back, right? And I marvel at God and how he knows all of us and how he treats all of us and how he just loves us in unique ways. And I always say that I'm grateful to God for hiding me. When I was growing up, I used to think that a big testimony was like mostly that, like, you know, having a fallout and coming back and all of those things. But I have seen the love of God in God hiding me and not allowing me to, you know, wander off or like be rebellious in my teenage years, or drinking, or like, I mean, getting addicted to like drugs and alcohol and things like that, or having premarital sex, or like all of those things that, you know, are usually happen to people. And when I see how I don't know, or there is nothing that I did that is different from everybody else, but for some reason I feel very hidden by God and very kept by God, that like somehow God managed to just hide me, to be like, okay, if this wave is going around and just like hiding me. And even till today, I feel like, my goodness, like God is a God that fetches the one, leaves the 99 and fetches the one, and is also equally the God that hides the 99.
And I feel like he hides you because you allow him to, you want him to. And then with me, like I wouldn't say like he didn't hide me. He hid me like for the time I wanted him to hide me. But at that time, like when I had a fallout, like I was aware of what I was doing. I didn't want to be under like his covering.
Oh, yeah, I guess like, so. But like,
it not just come and like hit me unexpectedly. I knew that I am done with this relationship.
But
like,
there are other people that like they didn't do it consciously. They just found, because of unconscious decisions, right? They found themselves having drifted away. So I equally still feel like it's not necessarily the things that I did well. It's just purely grace. And that for me, I always like, when I think of his love, and I'm like, yo, that part, Lord, thank you for hiding me. So, okay. So what has the there's a lot of things that happened in your life.
It's a
So,
movie.
In the past year, right, you went through depression and anxiety and all of those things, and you faced some of the lowest moments of your life. So I want to know, what has the lowest moment of your life teach you? What did it teach you about pain, about yourself, and about others?
So much. So much. Like, as much as I had wished, like, I would wish that life had turned out different for me. Like, I did not go through what I went through. I'm still grateful that I went through what I went through.
Yeah.
Because, like, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Like, I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
If I did not go through what I went through. If I did not have, I'm not saying this to say it's good to have a fallout, but I'm just saying God can turn bad to good. He can take like a bad situation and use it for your good, and that's what he did, like with me or for me. And I learned I was in a mental institution when he called me into this, is it a field? What do I call it? What I'm doing, whatever it is that I'm studying.
A field. Oh yeah. When he revealed to you a career.
When he revealed
the one
to me
that you're pursuing.
one that I'm pursuing, I was in my lowest point. I mean, if I had not been in that point of my life, I wouldn't be like the way I love this thing so much. Like, I cannot imagine me being something else other than this or doing something else. And that came like
as a result of being at the lowest.
Like, there's so much.
So even at your lowest point, God can reveal to you a lot.
Like, I started an organization that brings mental awareness during that lowest point of my life. Like, so much was discovered about me during that lowest point of my life. I learned that I am resilient. I learned that I'm strong. I learned that I'm a conqueror. I'm a fighter. Please, I learned so much about myself.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything now that can come or anyone and tell me otherwise, because you know what? I know me. I know myself.
You know what you can go through.
I know what I can go through. And I know who's backing me.
Yeah.
Come on, like,
that's the most important.
Yeah, so like, it taught me so much. That season of my life built me more than crushed me. Like, at that point, it felt like I was dying. I was crushing.
It's like being planted but not buried.
Yes. You know what they say about diamonds going through a rough?
Yeah.
Gold has to be refined, go through the fire for it to be like,
yes.
That's what was happening to me during that time. And if you see me, just know, child, just know.
I've been through things.
I've been through things.
Yeah.
For me to be the person that I am or I am becoming.
I'm actually realizing now that we are so afraid of the low moments in our lives, the things that happen. But like that testimony of you having gone through that and came out stronger, the next situation that you will ever face in your life, you will remind yourself, you know what, I actually have conquered this. I can conquer this because of what I have conquered before. So there's no need for us to fear the unknown, because we have history to look back on to be like, you know what, I can do this.
And I actually feel so fearless right now. Like, come at me.
it shows God's mercy. Like, I'm just thinking, oh, God is so wise in all his dealings. Like, I have been saying this phrase of late, that your leadership is perfect in my life. Your leadership is perfect. Whatever you allow me to go through, even if it has not been brought by God necessarily, but if it has allowed me to go through it, somehow I will find the strength to endure, you know, and to come out wiser and stronger. Like I was saying in the previous episode, we are made of strong material. We should trust the God that made us. So
wait, Ade, just to hear from you, you know me, like, you know the person I was before the fallouts.
yeah.
You know the person I was during the fallouts, and you know the person I am now after. Like, would you say there really is like a difference?
100%. Like, I actually prefer you now than I did then. Cause, like, you know how they say that it's like everything that has happened in your life, really made you wiser. It opened your eyes more. It broadened your understanding about life and about people. One thing that I've noticed, right, about you, that pain taught you. Remember my question I asked, what did it teach you also about others? You are more compassionate now than you were back then. Like, then you didn't understand when a person make a silly decision, or like they do stupid stuff.
Judgmental.
Yeah, you were borderline.
I didn't even understand like what depression was. Like, what do you mean you're depressed?
Why? If you pray, like, what's the problem?
Like, don't you pray? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's that? And then I had to be in it,
They
like,
like,
to know and understand. Now I'm more like compassionate, like you said.
You definitely are.
I have sympathy towards people who are going through something. But then I was like,
and I think you are now. You have grown to have a teachable spirit now. Like, for some reason, like, even if I come at you and be like, no, Madam Nsovo, this and this and this, like, now you're like, okay, you know, even if you have something to say, but you're like, okay, it's fine. You can take something in and actually like allow it to marinate and to learn something from it, which I think is very beautiful. And it will, and I think that's what contributes to you being like a great mother to your child, you know, because like you,
and also being a mother like changes a person.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's motherhood or
everything.
I just know that
you know, actually, like, your life is a representation of that song, your Elevation Worship. Yeah, you take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. Literally, I feel like everything, whether it be literally, whether it be the fallout, the dropping out of school. Like, when you dropped out, it was supposed to be a very sad story, but from there you built a business. Right now, you became a wonderful tailor around Guyane.
They say when life throws you lemons.
Lemonade. One thing about my friend, guys, this girl will make lemonades. Even sometimes to her own fault, but she will try and pick up and make lemonade. What about this girl?
If you need lemonade,
lemonade skills,
come to me. I'm your girl.
Yeah, so I think and that's also something that I have learned from your life. Cool.
And you know, that's my life is a motto. What do they call it? I even have it on my Twitter bio, that grow through what you go through.
Yes,
that's what I do.
Yeah, it is. I can attest to
what I go through.
You have really gone through what.
I really grown through
what you've gone through.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And even like, and I think it also has made you a better friend. Like, we had a fallout. I'll tell about it in another episode. But like, now I think I enjoy you as a friend now because of everything that you've been through. And also, like, it didn't also make you a better person, but like the spiritual growth that happens in us makes us better people, right? I think so. And like, yeah, it's what I've seen also in your life. Even in mine, I feel like my spiritual growth makes me a better everything.
So the growth is evident, no?
Yes, Shem. I don't wanna lie.
Thank you.
It is evident in every time. Even like the girl you were in January, you are not that girl.
No,
like you have grown. Yeah.
Wait
The
till
word
I
thing.
finish this challenge I'm doing. You haven't met me yet.
And that's the thing. That's the goal in life, guys. To keep growing and to be better at things, ne?
Yeah. And just being a person in general.
Yeah, it's very important.
it should just be like it should be everyone's goal to be a better person than you were the previous day.
You were. So. We are coming out to the second half of the year now, so it's time to check this. I kept saying on my podcast that like by June I want to be unrecognizable, and personally, not physically, guys. We don't walk by sight. Physically, transformation is coming, but in a man,
even if it's not evident, like at the time you wanted to show, I feel like it's there.
Eventually, yeah, that is true.
You know how when a person is growing like in front of you, you don't see it.
Yeah,
you don't see it, but they are growing. Yeah, we don't stop growing.
Yeah,
like I see my son every day, but I don't see him
like growing.
I just see through his clothes. Like the other day, he was wearing this other pants. They're now too short, and I remember the time I bought them for him. They were like too big. I'm like, what, Johnny? How did this happen? When? Like I didn't see it, but.
So, like, basically, like, we can think that it's because we're not seeing it, we're not growing, but we are.
It's there.
Oh, wow. So, last question. What have you done or are currently doing that is helping you fight the battle of the mind, right? Because, you know, from having experienced depression and all of those things, you have to be intentional about your mind or growing in your mental health and stuff like that.
Okay, so the first thing I did when I saw that I'm lifeless. I'm lifeless, you know? The first thing I did
when things went.
Okay. The first thing I did, and I'll always be proud of myself for doing that, or everything that I did from that day till now. It's have myself admitted at a mental institution.
Oh, last year.
That was the beginning of, you know, this new person.
Okay, mental transformation, mental health.
That was the beginning of it.
Okay.
I went into a mental institution for 21 days. I am now seeing a therapist. Whenever I feel like, you know what, I need to make a decision on something and I don't know if I'm smart enough to decide this on my own. And not to say that I rely on other people to make decisions, but sometimes you do need not validation, but help. Come on, we all need help.
Yes.
So I do call my therapist and tell them what's go, or maybe to just update them and then and have them tell me what to do, or sometimes for them to tell me that like every time I talk to her, she's like, oh, I'm so proud of, like, it's something new every day actually, like, oh, I'm so proud you did that. I'm so proud you did that, you know. And I have a therapist. I went into a mental institution. I went back to praying. Remember, I never used to pray during the fallout. I went back to praying. I went back to church. I even stopped going to church. I went back to church. I'm at every concert there is. Concert, like, I'm God's groovist now. You know what?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a conference, crusade.
Call me.
I'm joking,
but
I'll be there. So I went back to spending time with God, growing myself spiritually, and I was on medication, and then I stopped, and I'm doing so much.
Yeah.
I'm doing so much to make sure that I stay alive. I recently started like the 75-day soft challenge. I know it's only been 9 days. I know, but please,
yeah,
do yourself a favor, man. And I feel like
come to me directly.
No, not just you, but if the shoe fits Cinderella,
wear the shoe.
But I feel like I think people don't want to commit to that because they think it's just working out, and it's more than that.
Yeah.
Remember, you're also reading 10 pages every day. I mean, I've also added reading of a book or listen to a podcast. They say at least one podcast. I listen to like 10 in a day.
Wow.
Like I said, I'm on personal growth. Growing my business and the career that I'm pursuing. So I'm watching things related to that and finances, because I financially it's fine. Like I realized that I'm not broke. I'm not broke.
You just mismanage your finances.
Yes, I just mismanage my finances.
Definitely. You have a lot of money. Yes, you make a lot of money. You even upset me when I think about it. But anyway,
because like I don't have like the financial knowledge, so I'm trying to grow myself on that, because I have responsibilities now. I have a responsibility to have a child, and to give him like a better life or better future. Like I have to, get my house in order.
Yeah.
So I have to start with me, work on myself, make me better, so that I can like be a good role model. Because I want him to be a certain person, like spiritually, financially, relationally. I want him like to be this kind of person, and I believe that person I want him to be is the same person that God wants him to be. So I have to start by like being a good example,
modeling.
That. So I'm doing everything that I can to be a good role model to my child. So I'm just doing a whole lot of, am I planting?
Oh yeah, planting seeds.
Yeah, planting seeds.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So
thank you for joining me. Hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the woman that you are becoming. You've come from far, and like even just the first half of the year, you went through the most. But in a short space of time, like you went like high emotions, low emotions,
it's
like and things that are even outside of your control. But like I am proud of how you are allowing growth into your life and how you are embracing everything and literally making lemonade. It takes courage to make lemonades. Like as much as like you have your days of like, like we must feel what we're going through and not just like put it aside. But after feeling, you have a way of picking yourself up, and this time around, seeking God and wanting Him to hold your hand through it. And that watching your life has blessed me in a lot of ways. Yes.
You don't say.
I'm saying. Watching your life has really blessed me, and I am honored to be doing this life thing with you as well.
I'm honored to have you. Oh, another thing that's keeping me alive, it's having friends like you.
Aww.
Friends that will always keep you in check, keep you in your right senses,
Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, before we get all mushy and stuff, thank you so much for joining the podcast.
You're welcome.
And thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're on Spotify, leave a review. Leave a review. There's a review on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Please do that. And on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends, all your family members, all your loved ones. I love you so much.
A YouTube channel, by the way.
Oh,
I know it's not active at the moment, but
yeah, there's still a lot they can learn. So
it's
check
coming.
out her
It's coming.
YouTube. I'll put it on the description below. And social media, Bella Apparel, or Nsovo 26. No, Happiness 26. Anyway, follow us on social media, guys. Love you. Bye.